This channel has been all about my game dev journey, from me opening a game engine for the first time, to exporting my first ever little game, to me dabbling in 3 dimensions, to me trying to make a little strategy game, as well as everything I've been learning along the way. This includes the things that I'm learning about myself too. For instance, here's how my mind works. Here's me, here's a simple idea for a game, now let's add to it. A lot. Because of this, I want to practice keeping things simple. Every month in this channel's Discord, there's a small game dev challenge that everyone can do to improve their skills. The scope of these challenges are supposed to be small, so maybe it can give me some practice with staying true to a simple core idea, plus having something playable in a short amount of time. Let's take a look at the challenge. I'm going to be making a simple 10-second minigame with the theme Rotate. The first thing that I want to do is try searching for the term minigame and see what comes up to get my brain working. Oh, hello, what's this? It's the old school RuneScape minigame icon, but it's looking pretty rotatable. This might sound weird, but I think I might be able to turn this into a game. I'll start by making a quick sketch for what the game would look like a good, competent game dev. Except, okay, I just drew a bad version of the icon, but I think the idea is simple enough. The player is going to move a square around the screen while avoiding the rotating walls. The game needs to be beaten in 10 seconds though, so there will be a 10-second timer to count down. Simple, easy, impossible to overscope. But what if there were more levels? Alright, starting off with the most basic essentials that we need for the game, let's see if there are any glaring issues that we need to address with the idea early on. Yeah, I got one. I'm going to be sick staring at this thing. I also know that I want this center part blocked off during the game so you can't just sit in the middle. But what I'm also realizing is that most of these blades are going to be really pointless during gameplay, since the player is just going to be trapped between 2 of them. I think we can do 2 things at once here and remove most of the blades, which also helps me with not feeling like I'm going to throw up. This is much better, but it still needs something. Okay, I'm starting to like this. Let's make our little character. Look at him go! But there's still a problem. What's stopping the player from leaving the center area to go over here? Which would be way too easy, instead of over here, which is where I want the player to be. The solution that I have for this is to create an empty node in the center with a look at function. This means that the node will always be rotating to look at the player no matter where it is on the screen. I can then use this rotation angle and apply it to the windmill blades. So as soon as the player leaves the center circle, the blades appear, rotated to the perfect angle so the player is right in the middle of them. As with anything that I do, I got sidetracked while on the way to get that working by starting to get collision working, adding a splash of color, making a pause menu, and breaking a couple things along the way. But eventually I did remember the original assignment, and I gotta say it's super satisfying to see it working. Now, at this point, after finishing the collision detection and adding a game over screen, the game, according to the prompt, is already 90% done. Except for all the bugs, but those don't count. What we really need now is to make sure that the game can be beaten in 10 seconds. So I'll just add a timer to the middle that starts counting once the player leaves the center area, and once it finishes, you win. You can now enter the center area again and... Okay, let's add more levels. I'm overstepping the prompt at this point, but we'll just say that you're considered a winner as long as you can at least beat the first level. In my first game, I really loved designing the different waves of enemies to increase the difficulty, and this part feels a little like that again. By creating a match statement, I'm able to control the speed and direction of the blades depending on the current level. For the first level, I'll keep the speed pretty manageable and consistent. For the second wave, I'll have it slowly increasing. For waves 3 through 6, I have a short timer that's always ticking, and every time it reaches 0, a number is randomly generated from 1 through 5. Depending on the wave, that number will decide if the blades keep spinning, pause, change speed, or even change direction. Now, with everything working together, I think it's a fun and challenging little game. I feel like this was a really great exercise for me, and it helps me to remind myself that not everything that I work on has to be this long process where I add everything that I can think of into the game. By doing more, smaller games like this, I'm getting more rapid-fire bits of experience because each small game is a completely new project with different challenges. I want to remember to make more tiny games like this because I feel like it really does help me to become a better developer. At the very least, it helps me continue to exercise the creative part of my brain. If you've watched this far and want to give the game a shot, you can find the link in the video description. But be warned, it's pretty difficult. And by difficult, I mean I'm not even sure that beating level 5 is even possible. But if you do somehow manage to beat it, level 6 is endless, so you can test yourself to see how long you can last. Also, if you want to take part in fun game dev challenges like this, feel free to join our Discord with the link in the description. We have a new challenge every month, so have fun, say hi, and share any games you're working on. I'll see you over there, and keep learning.